Well, we were actually living in Guyana, South America as missionaries and serving and just busy with the Lord's work there. And so I guess you could say it was just a matter of day after day of just being busy. Honestly, just never considering, I never really felt like I had any kind of issues in my life with anxiety or anything related to that. So it really came upon me really pretty suddenly. Leading up to the anxiety, the initial attack really, and I would call it an attack, was really wasn't a lot of fear. I mean, we were really living in the center of God's will, just very busy in God's work. Really never looking at something like that could happen, The biggest key really ultimately that helped me to get through the whole thing was just hope itself, just hope in the Word of God. There was a period of time where it just felt like everything around me was just completely dark. And in fact, I shut myself off for a short period of time. Other than my wife and kids, I didn't want to go to church. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't feel like I could be around people at all. And it was an extremely dark period of my life. I can remember sitting in a room sometimes, and I would go in there and shut the door. And I've often said this since then, that I could understand people that just shut themselves away and never come out. And I think two things was hope in the Word of God. I really believed through it all that, ironically, that the one thing that really never varied was I was absolutely certain of the love of Christ, and that was huge. And of course the love of my family as well. And I think there is an element that you have to, prevent the same thing happening again. And I've often said that one of the most important things that all of us need is to build margin in our life, and that's something that I did not have. That basically that I was pushing things. I mean, literally working 7 days a week, 18 hours or more a day. And so I really hadn't built margin into my life. I had to get to a point where I wasn't living for other people's expectations. And I had to get to where I was comfortable with who I am, and that this is a weakness, which is okay. I think we ought to be okay with weakness. And of course, one of the great promises of the Word of God that Jesus teaches us that when we're weak, that He's strong. And that was something really kind of ironically contrary to the way I was raised and the way that I had always been. I always felt like I had to be strong. And I was a leader, and I had people under me that were leaders and so on. So I felt like I always had to be strong. But the truth is, that's really what led to the downfall of me trying to be strong all the time. And the secret or the answer is letting Christ be strong. And so hope really is that certainty that God has a plan, that God is working things out, and we just have to trust it. And it took a while, and took probably longer than I would have wanted it. And if I had could have scheduled everything, it wouldn't have been that way. But God, in His perfect timing, just brought things through and really has multiplied my ministry and my life with my family and with other people now through all that.